So next I am going to take you through the use of specialty fire resistant glass. I will talk about what are the different classifications and how do each of these fire resistant glasses perform in each scenario. So the different types of fire resistant glass, as you can see in the moving GIF, is E, integrity, EW, which means radiation control, and EI, which stands for insulation. So if you see the moving GIF, you can very well see, or if I would have to explain, you will see three elements in the motion graphic. One is you see a fire, you see a source of fire. Second, you see a physical barrier between the fire and the person who is being evacuated. But the only difference in all the three is that the color of the person keeps changing, or the color of the physical barrier keeps changing. And also another very important observation here is that you also see how the heat radiation coming from a fire changes in each. So the different types of fire resistant glass can be classified as E, EW and EI. Now I will take you through each of these in detail, and then you will have a clear understanding of what each stands for. So E, or an integrity fire resistant glass, means that any fire resistant glass which will prevent the spread of flame from a fire site to the non-fire site is called an integrity fire rated glass. It is represented by the alphabet E, and so the most basic property of any fire resistant glass is the integrity. It should not lose its structural rigidity due to temperature rise or from the pressure arising from a fire. So if you look at the infographic that I have put here, you can see that the physical barrier between the fire and the person being evacuated is still has not collapsed. It is still maintaining its structural rigidity. But at the same time, you can see that the whole graphic is represented in red, which means that the whole graphic is represented in red, which means that there will be a lot of heat transfer through the glass. So although an integrity rated glass does not collapse during a fire, it does allow heat to pass through the glass. Glass as a property has its own thermal transmittance. So at the end of the day, the heat is definitely going to be passed through the glass unless we add some value, unless we carry out some value addition process on the glass. So there are other types of fire resistant glasses as well, which are much superior in performance, which can cut down the amount of heat that is coming through. So if I will like to go back to the previous slide and take you through the motion graphic once again. So if you see on the left, if you see on the left, you can see that in an integrity rated glass, you can see that the heat radiation coming through the glass forces the person in the vicinity to move farther away from the glass because of the heat transfer. So here's a very simple representation of how the heat would be transmitted in an integrity rated fire resistant glass. The heat would transmit through the glass, since there is no mechanism in place to cut down the amount of radiation heat transfer through the glass. Next, or the second type of fire resistant glass we have is called the EW type of fire resistant glass, which is integrity and radiation control. If you look at the infographic, it is more or less very similar to the one you saw before for integrity rated glass, but you can observe that there is a difference in the color of the infographic. It is yellow in color, and also the person who is standing next to the physical barrier is not trying to run from the glass but trying to walk. So these are clear indications that in an EW rated glass, the amount of heat radiation coming to the non-fire side is limited. So if you look at an EW glass, or if you were to compare an EW glass against an E rated glass, you would observe that the amount of radiation coming through an EW glass is less than 15 kilowatt per meter square when measured at a distance of 1 meter. So, if I was to stand 1 meter away from a EW rated glass or 1 meter in front of an EW rated glass, and if I was to measure the radiation that I would be measuring would be less than 15 kilowatt throughout the duration of its fire protection. So, again, so the E in the EW stands for integrity and the W stands for radiation control. So, an E-rated glass is an advanced type of classification when you compare it against an E-rated glass, because an E-rated glass, it does not cut down the amount of radiation coming through the glass, but it does provide integrity and structural rigidity to the glass barrier. On the other hand, in EW rated glass, it has both integrity and which is basic, or which is the most basic property of all fire resistant glass. In addition to it, it also has something called W, which stands for radiation control, which means that it will control the amount of heat passing through the glass. Now, I will take you through some videos which will show you the advantages of using an EW glass. So to explain this demo, before we go ahead with this, I will take you through the sim. So on this is a test furnace. So what you see behind this setup is a furnace which will throw fire at the set that we have made. We have divided this set into two parts. On the right, we have installed a fire resistance rated, an EW glass on the right, and on the left we have used an E rated glass, which is an integrity only. So you will see a combination of integrity with radiation control on one side, and you will see a glass which has only integrity on the other side, and we have kept identical materials on both sides of the glass. So here you will get to see that in a real fire scenario how each of these glasses behave, and as a result what is the consequence of the behavior of this glass or the performance of this glass on the things, on the combustible materials in the vicinity of the glass. Through each of these video, you would have observed the main advantages that come with the EW rated fire resistant glass. Uh, the biggest advantage with an EW rated fire resistant glass is that it can cut down the amount of radiant heat that passes through it. As a result, it does not initiate a secondary fire in the non-fire side by setting ablaze all the combustible items. In the first video, you saw that pieces of paper and cloth that is stuck on the EW glass did not char, whereas the pieces of cloth and paper stuck on an E-rated glass begin to ignite few minutes into the fire. Whereas in the second video, you saw some numbers attached to the test that we did. The difference in radiation, for example, in an E-rated glass, you would have observed that the radiation can go as high as 30 kilowatt per meter square when measured at 1 meter distance, or you would have seen how the temperature on the glass goes as high as 900 degrees, or how the temperature of the vicinity can go up as high as 500 degrees in an E rated glass. Whereas in an EW rated glass, because it can cut the amount of radiation coming through, the temperature values are very less. As a result, if you were to, or for example, if you were to correlate these values to a real scenario of a evacuation during fire, you can imagine high temperatures can cause a hindrance for evacuation, not just for the occupants of the building, but also for the firefighters who will be coming in to rescue people. So radiation is going to be a very big game changer, or for the firefighters who will be coming in for the evacuation. So as you can see, radiation is going to be is a very big disadvantage when it comes to evacuation process. Also, it can put a lot of people and property into the path of harm and danger. It is not just life safety but also property protection, which is also one of the biggest goals of fire protection. If you look at an example of a bank or a jewelry store or a data server room where you have servers kept within an area, it is very important to protect such property also from the mishaps of fire. So if you were to imagine the use of an EW rated glass in a data server room against an E rated glass, it is clearly we can clearly understand, or we can clearly picturize how the amount of radiant heat coming into the data server room will be cut down in an EW rated glass, whereas in an E rated glass it will be very high. As a result, it will damage all the equipments in a room. So it is not just life safety but also property protection that we need to look at when it comes to the use of, or when it comes to choosing the right fire resistant glass.